So here is my rectangular prism. Now, this is the only one where you may have a different base area, or you might have chosen a different base than what I did. I chose the base that it's sitting on. So my base is the rectangle that's a 12 by 5. So I did 12 times 5, and I got 60 for my base area. So because my base was 12 by 5, my perimeter is 12 plus 12 plus 5 plus 5, or the 12 times 2 and the 2 times 5, and it gave me a perimeter of 34. So to find lateral area, I did perimeter times height of my prism, which was 6, and I got 204. Then for total area, notice I have 2 pink bases, and then I add in that lateral area. So the base was 12 times 5, so 60, and there's 2 of them, and then I add to 204, and I get 324. Pretty good on 1 and 2. All right, let's go to 3 and 4. This is a triangular prism. Again, the shape that you have 2 of, that names your type of prism. So I have 2 triangles. So again, the perimeter, now notice this was a right triangular prism. So notice the right angle here. So in order to find this missing side over here, I had to do Pythagorean theorem, or just realize that these were a triple. So that missing side, to find the perimeter, you could do 3 squared plus 4 squared equals that other side, c squared, and then get 5. And then perimeter is 3 plus 4 plus 5, which is 12. And then from there, you could do the base area, 3 times 4 divided by 2, and then fill it into the formula. Pretty good on that one? All right, next. Now, this next one was a bit challenging, because what we needed to do is do a lot of Pythagorean theorem here. So what was missing from the instructions was that this was an equilateral triangle. So what I did here was I labeled everything I had. So K was 3, H was 4, the height, and then I needed to find my slant height, my base edge, and things like that. So what I needed to do here was figure out what the slant height was, and what I did was I created a triangle here. And this L, or this slant height, is a triple. So it's a 3, 4, 5. Now, to find the base edge of my triangle, I redrew the base down here. So if it's equilateral, I know that each one of these is also 60 degrees. And if I put the center point here, and remember to find that central angle, I take 360, divide it by 3. My central angle here is 120. And then what I do is I could drop down the apothem, and then now I have a 30, 60, 90 triangle, which is what I did over here. So I knew I needed to find the base edge. So I knew K was 3. So this is 3. And then from there, I could go ahead and figure everything else out. And then my side length becomes 6 root 3. So then I went ahead, and for the base area, I did the 1/2 ANS. So 1/2 the apothem. Actually, the apothem's 3. This was 6. And then 6 root 3. And then the base area is 27 square root 3. And then from there, you could put it in to get the rest. This one was a bit challenging. Let's try the next one. This one. Okay. All right, now this one was not in your notes. This one, it would probably be more like what you may see on the test. So here, let's say we have a square pyramid instead. So if I have a square pyramid, and let's say I gave you the slant height this time. So if it's a square pyramid and I told you the base edge and the slant height, then what I could do is find the lateral edge by again doing Pythagorean theorem. So this is the slant height right here. Then if I draw down that slant height, it bisects the 4. So now I could do Pythagorean theorem to get the lateral edge. And then you would get square root 29. The lateral area, remember, is 1/2 the perimeter times the slant height. The perimeter, it's a square, so 4 times 4, times the slant height, which was 5, and then my lateral area is 40. Then to find total area of this, the base area was easy. It's just 4 times 4, 16, and then add it to that lateral area. So this would be probably more like what you would get on your test. Let's go to, all right, now for the test, I highly recommend that you start creating a running list of formulas. So far, we've learned how to find the lateral area and the total area, or remember, total area is also known as surface area. So far, we've done prisms, pyramids, cylinders, and cones. What's coming up are the 4 volume formulas. So tonight's homework, you're going to be doing prisms and cylinders, and then the next time it's going to be pyramids and cones. So the reason why when we do volume, if you think about it, the prism and the cylinder, they both have the same type of base. The only difference is the cylinder base is a circle. So this is what's coming up. I highly recommend that you have it written down on a piece of paper. I think it'll be faster to reference versus trying to look for things on your iPad when you take the test next week. So you can have a formula sheet. You will be using your calculator. So again, when you're doing all of these problems, make sure you're practicing with your calculator. Yes. Now here is the surface area warm-up for cylinders and cones, and it asks you to complete the table. So again, for lateral area, it's going to be 2 pi r height, and for total area, you would find the area of the 2 circles, the top and the bottom, and then add in that lateral area. So for number 1, the final answer is here, it's the 100 pi, and over here, it's 150 pi. Everybody good on that, or do you want me to walk you through it? Again, the cylinders and the cones are easier. And then for number 2, the lateral area is 6 pi square root 7. Now, it doesn't matter the order you write this. So if you'd rather write 6 square root 7 and then the pi, the order of these 3 things doesn't matter. And then the total area is 14 pi, 6 pi root 7. We can't add the 14 and the 6 because the 14 doesn't have a square root 7. Pretty good on 1 and 2. Right, next, 3 and 4. So number 3, it's down here in red. So for the lateral area of the cone, the formula is pi r L, which is the slant height. So we're just going to put in, because we were given, we had to figure out the slant height. It was actually a triple. So if you just did, if you didn't realize it was a triple, then you'd have to do Pythagorean theorem. So to get the slant height for number 3, here was my cone that I drew, and then I did Pythagorean theorem to get the L. Once I have the L, then I can put it into the formula pi RL. Total area, I'm going to take that lateral area and add it to the base area. The base is a circle, so pi r squared. So final answer here is 90 pi. Now for number 4, all the work here is in this like fluorescent green looking color. So again, for the height, over here is my cone picture. So what I need to do is Pythagorean theorem again. Again, it's a triple. Again, if you don't remember your triples, you do Pythagorean theorem. And then once you get the height, then you can go back and just do the rest, because all you needed to find lateral area and total area really was the radius and the slant height. So to answer these 2 questions, lateral area and total area, you didn't need to find H, but when you watch the video for volume, you will need the height of the cone. So this is why we practice finding it and turning it into a right triangle. Now let's take a look at the homework. Oops. So I'm going to zoom into each question. So for number 1, we were given the radius and the height, and it wants me to find the lateral area and the total area. So lateral area of a cylinder is 2 pi r height. Plug it in, you get 40 pi. Total area, you're going to do lateral area. Total area, you're going to do, total area is lateral area plus the area of the 2 bases. Everybody good on 1? Okay, here's number 2. Same formulas. So lateral area is 2 pi r height. So plug everything in, get 160 pi, and then total area is 288 pi. Pretty good on that. Number 3. Lateral area 24 pi, total area 56 pi. Can you still see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, number 4. Lateral area is 240 pi, and total area is 368 pi. Now, on any of these, if you need them explained, let me know, and I'll walk you through. Again, the cylinders and the cones are the easier. They're a lot easier than the pyramids. Definitely easier than the pyramids. All right, next. Number 6. This time they gave us the lateral area and we needed to work backwards to find the radius. So we went ahead and set it equal and then solved for a radius. You could have either left your answer as 3/2 or 1.5. Number 8. This time they gave us the total area, and again they wanted us to find radius. So what we needed to do here was plug it into the formula. So this is the 2b plus the lateral area. So we went ahead and worked to find the radius. Pretty good on that? Okay, next, number 10. Okay, so now we're filling in the chart. So I'll make 10 bigger. So again, here's our triple again. This is the 3, 4, 5 scaled up. Everything was times by 2 in order to get that slant height. So again, we're going to be bringing in our special right triangles and our Pythagorean theorem to find missing pieces, whether it's a slant height or a height. So lateral area is 80 pi, total area 144 pi. Number 11. Again, another triple, the 5, 12, 13 triangle. Again, if you didn't realize what you needed to do here, again, Pythagorean theorem. Technically here, number 11, to find total area and lateral area, we didn't need the height. All we needed was to find the 12 and the 13. So all we needed was the radius and the slant height. But again, this height here, we're going to need in the volume formula. Because if you remember, volume of any shape is going to be area of the base times how tall it is. So this is where the H is going to come into play when we do the next 2 lessons. Number 12, they're asking us to find the radius, the lateral area, and the total area. So again, they gave us height and lateral area. This time it was not a triple, so we actually had to do Pythagorean theorem, and we get 4 square root 2. So if you break down the 32, you could do 16 times 2, 4 and 4, and then a pair of 4s. So one of the 4s comes out, and that's how it turns into 4 radical 2. So a lot of times the questions will not be in decimal form. They may ask you to leave it in simplest radical form. So when you take the test next week, just look through the multiple choice answers. Oh, and here's the rest of the problem. So here's lateral area and total area. Again, notice the 32 does not have a square root of 2, so that's why you're just going to leave it apart. So if it asks you to leave it in simplest radical form, that's all we would do. If it asks you to use your calculator, then we would have multiplied 32 times pi, and then add that to 24 times the square root of 2 times pi, and then gotten a decimal answer. But if it's got radicals in the answer, if it just says leave it in simplest radical form, that's how we would leave it. And then number 13 and 14. So here we had to find the radius, the height, and the total area. So they gave us the lateral area. We worked backwards to find, they gave us lateral area and slant height. Again, it's a triple. Again, it's that scaled up 3, 4, 5. They multiplied everything by 3. So 12 is the radius, height was 9, total area is 324 pi. And then number 14. Here we had to find the slant height, the height, and the total area. So the order here doesn't matter. So if you put 24, then pi, then the radical 2, the order of these 3 things doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yep. And here's 14 again. Any questions on this? Okay, so we still have volume to cover, and that's your homework. That's due on Thursday. You're going to watch the video for 11.6, which is volume. You're going to complete the notes, and you're going to complete the homework, and it's due on Thursday. Now, then on Thursday night, which is due the next day, which is Friday, so you're going to only have one day to do 11.7. The video is already up, so if you want to use your afternoons to get both 11.6 and 11.7 completed, 11:6 notes and homework due Thursday, 11:7 notes and homework due Friday. Then your homework over the weekend is going to be the review. The review is going to cover all of the surface areas, all the formulas for prisms, pyramids, cylinders, and cones, and then the 4 volume formulas for those same solids. So that's what's on the test next week. And again, your test is Thursday, April 23rd. So no test or quizzes this week, just a test next week. Any questions? Which example?
It was actually back in warm up, probably a little late, but
No, I can go back to it.